Hello everyone, welcome to my film review for Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. And first of all, this is a good film. I actually really enjoyed it. It doesn't have exactly the same story as the original anime, and I don't know about the original manga comics, I never read them, sorry. But the story from the 1995 film compared with this one, it's similar, but it's different enough to be a separate film. Having said that, there are many scenes in this film which have obviously been taken directly from the original film. It's almost like frame by frame, scene by scene. You can, really, because I actually watched the anime about 2 days before I went to see the film, just to refresh myself with it. I've seen it before. I just wanted to refresh it in my mind what it was, so when I went to see the film, you can really see there's a lot of, even though the story is slightly different, there's a lot of scenes which are almost identical all the way through, frame by frame. So yeah, it is a really good film. It's kind of enjoyable, it's quite artistic. I feel like it had a lot of influences from Blade Runner, with the way the artistic views and stuff around. I wouldn't call this an action film. I don't know how they're advertising it, whether they're advertising it as an action film, but I wouldn't class it as that. It's more of an artistic film. Again, it felt like, when I was watching this, it felt a lot like Blade Runner. I know that's a completely different film, different story, different narrative and everything, but the thing is with that film, when it first came out, people went along expecting an action film, and it isn't. That's kind of like an arty film where it kind of builds up its fan base over time, and I feel that this will be similar. So if you're going along expecting lots of action, it is there, don't get me wrong, there is stuff happening. You've got good guys, you've got bad guys, you've got people shooting each other, and there's fight scenes, it's all in there, but I feel that isn't the main driving force of the film. The main driving force of the film is something else, kind of exploring like what is the human condition, what it is to be human. I think that's kind of like a big thing with it, because obviously with Major, she's got the brain put into the cybernetic body, as it is with the anime, and with this one you see a bit more of her development in this, and you see Bateau again in this one as he is in the last one. But in the start of this film, he's got his eyes, and then he has an accident, or it's an explosion, and then that's when he gets the cybernetic eyes put in, which he has in the original anime. So they kind of explain how he gets those, but again, it is a different story, but it's similar. It's very similar. There are a lot of scenes, as I said before, there are an awful lot of scenes which they've lifted directly out from the cartoon and put directly into this film, almost frame by frame. But I say it is a different story, but it's similar enough. I can't really fault it. I enjoyed it the whole way through. I always try to do, when I do these film reviews, I always try and find something wrong with something. That's just my nature. But I can't really fault it, to be honest. I think some people may not like it. I think some people who may not like it may not get it. They might want something that's a bit more fast-paced. It isn't a particularly fast-paced film, but again, the original one isn't. The original anime, like halfway through, you've got this whole long section where Major's just walking through the city, looking at things, and and you can see she's pondering what it is to be who she is. They don't tend to do such a long thing like that in this film, but she does go on a journey of discovery of who she is. It's kind of like two stories, whereas the original anime just had the puppet master. They're trying to capture the puppet master and find out who that was, and then obviously that all works out in the end, how that happens. This one, they're not after the puppet master, they are after somebody else who I can't remember the name of. I should probably look that up so I don't look silly. Okay, I'm just looking on IMDb, and I think the guy they're after is called Cutter, but if I've got that wrong, I'm sure people will write below and tell me I've got the wrong guy there. But so you've got section 9, so in the anime they're looking for the puppet master, in This one, section 9, are looking for, I'm not going to say it again in case it's wrong, I think, and they think that's the main bad guy, but then in both stories it turns out they're not the main bad guy. It's another organisation. Now obviously in the original one it's section 6 which have been doing some dodgy stuff. In this one it is the manufacturer of the robots, the Hunker company I think it's called. Did I just give that away? Was that a spoiler? Anyway, and again with both stories they're hacking into humans and other people and to get their objective across what they're trying to do. I've been referring a lot to the original. When I was originally going to make this film review, I wasn't going to mention the original. I was just going to do it as a standalone. As a standalone film, if you've never seen the original film, then yeah, it would work. I think it would work. I mean, for me, it was like quite good because the original was still fresh in my mind, and I could say, oh, you know, I recognise this scene. I know this scene. It's a different order, and again, the story's slightly different, but you can really see where they've really tried to pick it out from the original. But if you've never seen the original, if you're going into this fresh, unknown, I mean, which is an entire possibility because the original came out in 1995 and it's a 15 age rated in the UK, and this one is only a 12 age rated, so there's a big possibility that there's a lot of people who haven't seen the original. I would say this does work well as a standalone film. You don't need to know what's going on. Everything is explained at a good steady pace, so you don't have to worry about what's going on. I don't understand this. I mean, you are thrown straight into it at the beginning. You are in a futuristic world. Humans have augmented themselves with cybernetic stuff. This is all explained at a steady pace all the way through the film, so at no point are you thinking, oh, what's going on here, or no, I don't understand this, I don't understand that. It's all, the narrative is well thought out. So yeah, it's good. You don't need to be a fan of the original to appreciate this on it, which is nice, because sometimes with remakes or reimaginings or whatever they like to call them, you know, you think, oh, you know, you do compare it to the original a lot, which I've been doing, but you don't need to. It works as a standalone film, so if you haven't seen the original, don't worry. This works as a good standalone film on its own, as a piece of artistic, cinematic enjoyment with hints of action thrown all the way through it. And it has questions about what it is to be human, who are we, you know, and stuff. Is this the future that we are actually heading to, of all these implants and everything, and getting hacked and stuff? How easy will it be? But you know, that's for another debate. I can't really think of too much to say about it, to be honest. I mean, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy anything Scarlett Johansson's in, to be honest. So there isn't really too much more I can add to it. I'm not going to go in depth scene by scene. So yeah, go watch it if you like that sort of thing. I think if you like Blade Runner, you'll like this as well. You'll see the influences, and if you like the original one, you'll like this. So if you like those sort of things, it's not a very fast-paced film. It's a steady pace all the way through. So yeah, it's good. I'm running out of things to say, so I'm going to end this video here. Check out my other film reviews, check out my other stuff that I do. I've been doing some vlogs lately, check them out. Check out my challenges, karate stuff, it's all on here. This channel's a bit of a mismatch of anything that I feel like doing, really. Okay, I'm rambling on now like a fool, so yeah. Bye.